Shana,
Africa, say it louder.
say Shana. Salam alaikum, assalamu alaikum, salam alaikum, assalamu alaikum, salam alaikum, assalamu alaikum, salam alaikum, assalamu alaikum.
United we stand, divided we fall. All we need is freedom. All we need is love. Free Africans free.
Be free, free from slavery.
Free,
Be free from slavery.
free,
Free yourself from mental slavery.
free,
Free yourself from mental slavery.
free,
Free yourself from mental slavery.
free.
Be free from slavery. Be free from slavery. Yeah.
We're here to speak the word. We're here to stop the war. We're here to speak the word. We're here to stop the war. We're here to speak the word. We're here to stop the war.
Salam alaikum, assalamu alaikum, salam alaikum, assalamu alaikum, salam alaikum, assalamu alaikum, salam alaikum, assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum, African one. If you wanna be free, the most simplest one in the world. Get yourself the better with the reggae music coming straight to you from the one of the most peaceful man. So many lying down on the streets, whatever them with their guns in the hands. Get yourself the most free time. I preach about freedom. Preach about freedom.
We're here to speak the word. We're here to stop the war. We're here to speak the word. We're here to stop the war. We're here to speak the word. We're here to stop the war.
Take a look on the street and say, listen, youth. Stop violence, they say, listen. You have to listen and be a man. The music we are doing is not a music for fun. We are preaching, hear it loud and clear. Ain't night and day, no slipping it out. Better preach, let the people hear. Better preach, let the blind feel. The sound of freedom and love. The sound of freedom and love. The sound of freedom and love. The sound. African one love. In the production. Ethiopia.
Salam alaikum,
Morocco.
assalamu alaikum,
Libya.
salam alaikum,
Tunisia.
assalamu alaikum,
Nigeria.
salam alaikum,
Niger.
assalamu alaikum,
South Sudan.
salam alaikum,
Sudan.
assalamu alaikum,
South Africa.
salam alaikum,
African wonder.
assalamu alaikum.
African wonder.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and welcome to Concerned Citizen of South Sudan. It is December 16, 2023. I would say Merry Christmas to all of you. We are approaching the holiday season. I welcome all of you, my dear brothers and sisters, to this very important event episode of Concerned Citizen of South Sudan. I apologize that it had been a long time. We didn't conduct this. We have other business to do with the campaign too. We have been engaging. So I am so happy to be back today with this very simple and important topic. Very simple and very small topic, which is South Sudan we want. And when you hear the word South Sudan we want, it's very simple. You know, that topic is simple actually. You can ask yourself, what kind of Sudan actually we want? And that question lingering in your mind, it will take you back. South Sudan we want. South Sudan that we have been fighting for years, more than 50 years. It started from Anyanya 1 and then liberation, struggle. That South Sudan we want. How it look like, how it feel like, what it should be, what are we going to have on that South Sudan we want. So, lady to the page, yakol chiwe ben, wabijam pay, South Sudan in Witku, a South Sudan inda, my channel will, jam yakolo, a bit check, a chibidit, and we want you, to share this. Take a penny pay, take a penny, take a coach, and book what you die, could be the die. The reason the reason we speak Dinka actually because we have a lot of people actually who are engaged with the regime, and these people they are not well informed, and they don't know English, and it's good for us, to send the message, whatever language that actually we can speak of. If I do speak Nuer, actually I will be speaking Nuer here. So because our citizens, from the Nuer land, they'll be able to get our message. If I speak Shuluk, it's the same. If I speak Bari, the same. So nothing personal. When I see sometimes people say, why are you guys doing English, Dinka, Arabic, and the Jiang? It's simply because we want those who are supporting President Kir, who are still supporting President Kir, and vast majority of them actually are the Jiang, are the one that keeping him in the power. And that's why we tend to address them. Any sabab in the jam utong monjang. I can be what the big upping. Okay? Big upping exactly. Okay, kia kulel ngwe kulel lan kia kulel ache kiraj kia kulel akwan pandan South Sudan akwan bi pandan South Sudan wa den tero ben akop wa taro we dor wa taro monja wa taro nuer wa taro chuluk wa taro ko South Sudan wa taro ko long barkazal wala long warab wala wan chan nyal wala mulwal jernyang wala nuer jikany wala nuer law wala wa gaja wala zande wala ngadir wa taro mit pan South Sudan a week in South Sudan inda. That's why I'm here tonight, so we can talk about this, what kind of South Sudan we want. So let me go ahead, and just talk in English, and then after that maybe I will do a recap in Dinka or even in Arabic. ممكن أنا نتكلم كمان باللغة العربية عشان نقدر نوضح للناس ما لامين في إنجليزي ولا لامين في مونجان ولا لامين في أي لغة ثانية إلا اللغة العربية فقط. So first, زي ما أنا قلت قبل, when you see this topic and you hear this topic, South Sudan we want, the question that comes to your mind is the struggle that we have been through for years, more than 50 years. Zay maana gutta is that means one, the struggling of our people, our ancestors. We need to be free. So South Sudan that we want, actually, in my own perspective, and I believe so in your also, not only this is the way we see it, South Sudan, in which South Sudan that we want is South Sudan that is stable. One, South Sudan that have security. That's number one. South Sudan that no one is going to chase you away from where you live. South Sudan that when you go and cultivate, go and farm, no one is going to shoot you. South Sudan that Maram, Maseria, what you call it, Northern Barkazal, will not come and attack you, and raid your village and take your cattle and your chicken and your animals and goat and all this thing. That's South Sudan that actually we want. South Sudan language is stability. South Sudan that we are just. South Sudan that no fight between Kwek or Guak. South Sudan that there is no fight among people in Tony. South Sudan that there is no fight among people of Nuer or the Balanda and the Zande and the Bari and Mundari and Murle and the Dinka and the Nuer. That's South Sudan, and that's South Sudan that actually we have been fighting for. And these are the facts, my dear brothers and sisters. South Sudan that prioritize security. South Sudan that security is number one. Number one. That's South Sudan that we want. The reason I brought this topic back, I'm bringing this topic back to remind you, so you can revisit. A lot of people, they have forgotten. Not even a lot of people, but those who are with regime, those who we call matograph, those who are, care only about their stomach, those who care about the way to loot, those who care about the way to the power, those who care about the way to gain and get the money. That's why we have to remind them what South Sudan we want. South Sudan, we want the Managuta, as I said, South Sudan that we can enjoy stability and security. That's the South Sudan that we want. That's the priority, number one. I want you to keep that in your mind. That's the South Sudan that we want. Number two, South Sudan that just. South Sudan that people enjoy the justice and liberty. And you know what I meant about that? Even in the national anthem, on our national anthem, we sang that, justice, liberty, and prosperity. That's number two. That's South Sudan that we want, that we can be just, that we can be free, and we can be liberated. We can be free. When I say liberty, that means that you have to be liberated. You have to be free of will, free of speaking, free of movement, free of will, free of doing things, free of thinking. You can think, you can set up your business, you can assemble, you can gather together, and it is constitutional right. Citizen can be free, citizen can be assembled, citizen can speak up, the journalist can be the eye of the people in the country. So journalists can write, so journalists can speak, even if they have a private television, they can speak about the issues that are affecting the citizen. If there is a fight between Twitch and the Ngok, and then it can be brought to the news, people can know. But what we have now is not happening. When there is a fight in Unity State, it's not being brought to the people. The news are not allowed to speak. That's right. There is no radio. Even some radio are banned, to operate in our own country. That's not the South Sudan we want. South Sudan we want, as I said, the number two is justice and liberty. South Sudan, that if somebody take my right, if you take my thing, and then I am able to go and file a claim and file a case before the court of law, and then we all be called before the judge, and then the justice will prevail. That's the South Sudan we want. That's what we said about justice and liberty. So you can be liberal. You can be speaking. Like now I am speaking here. I am far away from South Sudan. But if I was in South Sudan, then I can be arrested by the national security. I can be thrown in Blue House. I can be tortured. I can be banned from speaking. Or I can be killed even, because there's so many cases that we have talked about before. So that's number two. But we don't have it. And that's why I am coming here to remind you. Number two, South Sudan that have law, respect law, that the police will enforce the law, that we are all equal before the law. Okay? Number three, South Sudan that we do have a food security. South Sudan that a child cannot go to bed with empty stomach. South Sudan that a woman cannot deliver and die from lack of malnutrition, of lack of blood. South Sudan that an elderly, can be taken care of. South Sudan that our children can go to school and are able to afford the school fees. They have their school supplies. They have the teachers teaching them. They are getting the salaries. So South Sudan that actually is developed. South Sudan that is going forward. So that's number three. And then number four, South Sudan that actually embrace national project. South Sudan that is working toward developmental project in the country. And what I meant by that, simply, South Sudan that can have infrastructure. South Sudan that can build roads, can build schools, can build hospitals. So those who don't have money, those who cannot afford to take their spouses to go and deliver in Kenya, Nyata Hospital, in Nairobi, or in South Africa, or in Dubai, or in Germany, in Berlin. So they have that opportunity, to to be taken care of, to be treated in their own homeland. That's the South Sudan we want. South Sudan that if I want to drive from national capital Juba all the way to my home village, and then I am able to drive in very tarmac road. I can get there quickly to my family. My family can come. South Sudan that I can live from a will to unity state, from Ruwing, South Sudan that I can go from Buma to Juba. I can go from Buma to Rang, South Sudan that you can move from Yambio to Yei, and then from Kapoita to Torid and to Juba without any obstacles. This is South Sudan that we want. And that's South Sudan that we keep talking about, that we needed to happen. Okay, this is what we want, and that's what we do want. And that's South Sudan that a lot of sacrifices, ultimate, sacrifices have been paid for that. 2.5 million people died costly to fight for all of us, those of us who are still alive, so we can have that South Sudan. But today, my dear brothers and sisters, it's not happening whatsoever. It's not happening because we have an autocracy in our country. Our own uncles, our own brothers, those who have been fighting, and those actually who were eager, and those who used to say that we must fight for our dignity, our liberty, our justice, our prosperity. Very the same people that who were actually fighting the oppressed regimes in Khartoum, now they are oppressing our own citizen. And that's why we say we reject that. We cannot accept that. And that's why we keep talking to you as a citizen, as a concerned citizen of South Sudan, to get out of that and speak up your mind and say, no, enough is enough. We have been patient for a very long time. We have been giving an opportunity to those who are in charge, our brothers, to the president and his cabinet for a very long time, that actually they can make changes to South Sudanese life, but actually seem like that is not the route they wanted to take. That's not what they want to do. Okay, so you and me, we can do this, and we can speak up and we can reject. As I said for a very long time, if you have an uncle that actually in engaging in such of behaving of corruption, okay, you can have that ability to reject, to say, no, we don't want that, you don't want that, you don't want that. Because all of us, when we speak up, and we point out the wrongdo, people are likely to back up. People who are doing wrong thing, they will say, this is not good, because it's coming now from their own relative. But if you are condoning that because uncle is giving you, or uncle, or your in-law is giving you, or your father is giving you, and then we are not going to have South Sudan that we dream of. We are not going to have South Sudan that we want to be just. We are not going to have South Sudan that we enjoy the progress and prosperity. And it is not going to happen. And let me say this. In many cases, our people, some young, they are always, defending those who are engaged in corruption. And we are keep saying that actually that's an insult to your intellectual. That's an insult for you, somebody who knows something. To engage as such, you must reject that. You must reject that. And we have been labeled, actually, those of us who speak, who are vocal about the issue of and the love of the country, we have been labeled that actually we are a traitor, we are a seller, we are selling the country out. But unfortunately, that is not what we are doing. We care and we love, and we know that we belong together. And if things are wrong, we cannot let them go. And it is our our obligation. It is our moral courage to speak up, to say no, and also to sensitize you, and also to educate you with civic education that this is your right, actually. And the government is for the people and by the people. And since that the government for you and by you, and then that government has that ability, to do what is right in the country. They have to set a good example. But if they are engaging in corruption, in mismanagement, okay, in brutal act, and then it is the role of the citizen to reject such a behavior. That's why we are doing. And that's why we are keep doing this, to continue doing this. That's why we're resisting, and that's why we're persisting, and we have been consistent since day one in this platform. We have been consistent. It's not because we are seeking any power. As I said from the beginning, what matters is stability of our people, security of our people, developmental project in our country, so people of South Sudan can live decently like other countries. Like other countries, like what you see, there is stability in Kenya. There is stability in some countries in the region. We want that because we have been fighting actually so we can be stable. So it's that simple as that. So it's something that actually you cannot tell me that is not true. That's what we have been fighting for. That's what we have been fighting for. That's what our uncle have been fighting for. But if they lost the way and if they want to engage in this, then we can say no. So kana en ke kulwe en ku yok ban ku jam ku akol en panda chiriya panda chi chwe raj ku koy ke chwer ka ku koy ke raj bai ka ake koy war ka tar ake koy ware le juro chu lo kada ku juro chu raj ku juro chi panda pe ku juro chu yen zalamu o wa tar cha ru panda be pyat be kai ko bi ga lang piu sa piu pat piu chi ne kam piu clean be pana bun betaw be pana kim betaw be wal big taw be del big taw panda ake kan ka tar ko o ga wo chi tar bilang ko ben lo bani we ko chwer wa wo chi tar bilang ko ben we ga chi jam ma wo gwar e ku le wa tar achan bulang hurriya bulang freedom e mu chiro ben loy mi ba e mu chiro ben loy ku exact we monjang a we monjang at a we dud ko ji chwer ko we dud ko ji rej bay ko ji de jok a we dud ke ko ni a we dud ke ko ni a we dud ke ko yet kakati kan gana e ku niar o ko yu jam wel bi bay la twen pan junub Sudan pan South Sudan a ke leader ke liutin pan South Sudan has no leadership deficit walang ko pye ko ni wel ko ni bay bi yatwen walang bi tor walang wan di sin walang ko pur walang ko tak walang ko jwaaj pay pan junub Sudan pan jini ale doj lakini kitongo wo jaraj pot kitongo e jal man azayen jonkor ki amana pay ak ye man bay man mo jang ngi ken awoje ngudi lakini awoje ay awoje ne tany e loke yi awoje ne loke yi ku mel ki eni gam chimun wo gaza jaltinga yani a few weeks ago when Peter Berajag started talking about the issue of issues of the corruption in the country and the president and the regime and autocracy in the country. We have been faced with a lot of people saying that no, what you guys are doing can loyakan ache ku koy ka koy ngwen ku ran ngwen ache yo la yin cha wo loy. But if I ask one question the tijan week we koy yelwel gal kir mayar ke ran ngwen o nazan maud nas kubar o غير nas kubar ونازل المفروض ما يتكلم عنه وما يقولوا عملوا وما يقولوا سووا. Even our own culture does not accept that. Yes, I understand that and I respect that. An elder can be respected. An elder can be treated as an elder. I understand that. But at the same time, our culture does not allow an elder to be a thief. Our culture would not accept our elder to be a thief and then say, oh, well, okay, because ye na randit, ku ye na ranwen, alub bu chuer, palka doka jam, doka tich, alub kang right, alub koy knock, alub koy kek, it can cause problem, okay? It can cause communal violence, it can cause division, it can divide people, and he can steal, and then we can say it's okay. But culture dan mon jang ku cheng dan mon jang ku cheng nuer ku cheng chulu ku cheng judu Sudan, it doesn't even support that. It doesn't even support that. The same the same culture eno yo wama ko asa yeke jamdun kulo ka yak we nguya ka we gi jon ko mo yolu biara jag we ngadi dit nguye ben jam go nguye lo ka ci tuer nguye lo ka ci kan la loy kana ran ngwen yes ran ngwen but does our culture give permission to bang or to an elder to steal? Does our culture give a permission to an elder to kill people, to divide people? Actually, you know, it is positive, opposite. Chiangda ukmonje. Chiangda. It is rather actually, Ranwen is a man or a woman of wisdom, always. Always. Their job is to make sure justice prevail among the community. That's what I know of elder. That's what I know of senior. Within our community, within our society. That's what I know. So now you, the youngest South Sudanese, in a young monjang, particularly min mitwan barkazal, ini jalegen no. Yin yak ben e juer lakin du jam go wede ran wen. Ben ci koy kek ci jam go wede ran wen. Ben ci twanya ci real ci liwoni real ben caga chat ben kan luoy lan bahanya wi real. Bahanya wi bi a jambe ran wuril be koy ni ba long du le longuril tur. Okay? Te yin koy kek ku ni juer ku real zare to ko gop. Are you telling me that culture bitana condone that? Permit that? No. Actually, unless this is your own culture, the culture doing that, doing that. Lakin kana che chiang monjang. Una chiang monjang. Ran wen e chen gok ko ya ran wen la nyu pin. Wen ko ara le pan kan e pan jini mit. Te chikiril ben, te lenki ci ben. Ko woril tur. E ko je tuwatin biya ke le tan. Akoyril real kok. Akoyril kanim. Akoyril jam. This is what I know of. Okay? Let me repeat it again. The language ben. The language ben by. Kwe ku won wi real. Kwe ku won wi jam. A ko real ke yatan. A chera anyop. Ini yaptwen. Na era anyop ben letwen karan anyop la wi ku let len wi ko dal kay ben. Ka dal ci ben. Ku won wi ku bulo ci bulo. Mintin pandan South Sudan. Pandan South Sudan. Menen jen nyoba pay kala. Meaning chi buy chen nyoba pay kala chi buy chen a week a chi a week wat koy ke gre onim an nyoba pay koy ke re onim an nyoba pay ben dan re onim an nyoba pay a chi choga dio brot la na langa de job te chen job lakin wat lang real ben jam lang real ben chat lang real ben kang loy ku mon jang chi le le yin ala te yiran wen wadiran wen pat ku ci real ci liu gop ko yina pal baretin kina pat bakay ga loy cey ata golnum ata bay tan ko wosra wur dedi te chen job bu kan aliap na lwel gadang ka le lwel det wala ka rel na la kay ku lwel a ci dedi ku yat ko twen bu ko chopin a ci dedi ka ja ben ñu ko ñu ke family ko ñu ke usro ka ñu ku ci long ci ko le yak yin walan ñu nar wa ma o gwa la nga ci yok mo ndi gëna ci ñop mo ndi gëna ci tap o mo ndi gëna a wujku berel bir bra bi yana ko ay mo jang ay loy mo jang ko lu retire mo jang rana ye lu retire based on health situation, based on age. The chin job mo jang yi lu retire. E lo yin mo ndi kana ci gok ku te ci mo ndi de cin gok ka ben pul berel bra da bi yana khudu to take his rest. So now when you are telling me that no you cannot do that. No you cannot talk about president because president is an elder. Ku president, if it is an elder, we must respect our elders, whether weak or whether bijam or chibijam or all this thing is okay. Kubai so and I wonder culture kan lag bayda culture kan li mo jangi culture kan liu nueri culture kan liu chulugi culture kan liu dori culture kan liu pan junub Sudan culture kan liu South Sudan tin jal ben ku legen na la culture da ke lu la kan ke randan wen ka lu bu tek We don't have that culture. It's not exist in South Sudan. Huh? It's not exist. It is rather in South Sudanese culture, whether it's a Denka or it's a Nuer or, is a Bari or Shuluk or Balanda or Bongo, Kakwa, whatever, can be a community or a tribe in South Sudan. When someone becomes weak, and if he is an elderly, it can be comfort. It can be given an opportunity actually to comfort. Okay? It can be given an opportunity and take care of that person. A retired family will retire that person. Within the family can retire their elder. Because it becomes very, very senior. And if you become very senior, Kwachilang dementia, now, Eliabi cannot even differentiate what we said yesterday and what we are going to do. Zol bigger insa, and then family can retire that. The same thing with the community. Even though the yin bany chief sultan, and you don't have that ability, you will be retired by the community. The community will say, oh, that's why I give the example, Gibel. That's why I give example. In the cultures bitana fi Junub Sudan, always something that need power, need people to talk on it louder and stronger, with an ideas. They always give it to people who can do it, which is mean people who are stronger, people who are thoughtful, people who are critical thinker, people who are always strong physically, appearance. They have that physical. So it's not shame. It is not shame. And there is nothing wrong actually to call someone who has served and someone who has been, in a position and he has no ability now to do what he can do, to say, step aside, go home, retire, and take a rest. And now we need somebody who is stronger, who is thoughtful, who is critical thinker, who have a vision, who can see, okay, to be in the position. Nothing wrong with that. So when you are telling me no, what you're doing is wrong, is you actually changing the culture. It's not me changing the culture. We are not the one that changing the culture. Actually, we are protecting the elder. Actually, we are protecting a senior. Land is senior, he will retire, and he can be retired. So what our people are saying, those young especially, they are simply motivated by power or by what they are getting from their uncles, because you have been influenced by the money. This is what I do see. Simply woolen, randun did madaniting randun pandun, and he's giving you guys a lot of money here and there, and then you feel like, oh man, he should be there because now we are gaining something from him. But the country is not going. It's not about you. It's not about you, my friend. It's not about you only, you individuals with uncle in charge. It's not about you. It's about all of us. It's about the country. And we should look for the interests of the country, first, and instead of you looking for your own simple thing. So I think you need to rethink. You need to rethink that what you are doing, you will regret it in the future. Lanu, years that we are wasting, all these years that we are wasting, the world is not waiting for us. And it will be very difficult to catch up. We have already wasted, we have already wasted, the regimes in the Khartoum have wasted our time. They did not give us an opportunity for our, ancestors to be educated. They were chasing them, They didn't give them, they were marginalized. We did not get an opportunity to be educated. Our people are not. Our great-father, they did not get that opportunity. They were marginalized. Now that we have an opportunity, you don't want to do the same thing, which it's happening now. You don't want to do the same thing. That's why we can do what is right. We can implement the policies that we have been fighting for. Because if we do that, and then actually we will catch up with the rest of the world. We will catch up with the rest of the world. I understand some people, they don't want to hear all this for their own reason. Like as I mentioned, they have some people working in the government, and very people always, who are confronting us are the people that have relatives in the government. Always. Very people who are confronting us, the people that have relatives in the government. Always. But this is it's not going to be good. And we will not quit, and we will continue. People with an open heart, with open mind, people with a vision who can see that South Sudan is more than enough for all of us. Huh? The truth will prevail for them and for the rest of the country. That's what I can see. I know there are some people actually who are also jealous. They don't want us to speak because if they cannot do it, they don't want other people to do it, because we have that ability to send the message, to have that civic education to our people. They wanted to do it, but they don't have that ability, and they are jealous of us doing it. And sometimes they tend to, well, Nazil, Nata Jota, Narjisin, Umarve, and blah, 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 blah. It's because they don't have that ability. But you know what? We are not going to listen to them. We will do what is right. That's what it is. We will continue to do what we believe in. We will continue what will liberate our people, so our people can be free, because we need a strong South Sudan. South Sudan that cannot import food from outside. South Sudan that can export food. That's South Sudan that we want. South Sudan that have good schools. South Sudan that have researches. South Sudan that people all over the world have desired to visit and enjoy what we have. That's the South Sudan that we want. Because if we do that, we'll be embraced all over the world. And our people, very, very, very important, our people, they are going to live in decency. And that's the top priority. To have security, to have justice, to have liberty, okay, to have food security in our country, so we can, produce food locally. We don't have to bring food outside. This is a South Sudan that we dream of. And that South Sudan actually cannot be with weak leaders. With weak leaders, okay, whether it's physically, mentally, okay, and that's what we are seeing right now. That's what we are seeing right now. And that's why we are saying, no, enough is enough, Jama. And if you are one of those who would like to confront us, because actually we are telling the truth and we are saying what's supposed to take place, and simply because you have an uncle, and that's why you don't want that, no, don't say that, because you feel threatened. Because by saying that now, by talking, by giving civic education to our people, people are going to learn the messages, and then they will say, oh, that's right, and this is true. And you feel threat. And that's why actually you don't want, you want us to shut up. We are not going to, because this is what we believe in. This is what we believe in. And we are telling the truth. And always somebody who is telling the truth has nothing to worry about. But somebody who is lying always, it will worry about how he's going to defend the lies. It's very difficult. Even when you go to court and you are lying, you go into Mahkama and you have a lie in your back of your mind. That's why they have something called lie detective, in advanced countries. Because if you are lying, you're emotional, you're psychological, everything will be disrupted when you are being tested. But if you are not lying, you are always calm, you always speak, nothing to worry about, your emotional are going to be the same, and nothing is going to impact you on that session when you are tested. And this is who we are. Because we are talking about things that's supposed to take place. South Sudan fought for justice, liberty, and prosperity. South Sudan did not fight for corruption, did not fight that a few can come and corrupt and cause communal violence and created war. No. We are telling the truth, and we are saying no to this fight, and we are saying no to communal violence, and we are saying no to corruption, and we are saying no to people who are weak in the leadership. They need to retire, and we can have people with ability to take this country to the next level. So this is not a lie. We are telling the truth. And if I'm telling the truth, I have nothing to worry about. But people who are lying and people who don't want truth to go out there, they are always worried. They know uncle is doing wrong. They know their aunties are doing wrong. And that's why they come and confess. No, wallahi, today, don't, why? Randit, why are you talking about the elder? You don't talk about the elder. Because they know the elder is doing wrong thing. There is no community in South Sudan. There is no tribe in South Sudan that actually their culture condones, their culture support, or their culture accept thievery, accept corruption or accept stealing. No, whatsoever. If anyone knows about a community that their culture accept that, please come and tell me. But I know 100% there is no community in South Sudan that their culture accept that. So don't be defensive. Don't defend something that actually doesn't exist because you are corrupt. We cannot be corrupt. And you cannot continue to corrupt people. We will not accept that. That will not accept that. I know there are so many mathographs, and we said this many times. They don't want to hear about change because that change will flood them out and bring people with decency. And that's what they are resisting. They are thinking about the money that they have stolen. They are thinking that actually what's going to happen about atrocity that they have committed, the people that they have killed, the violence they created. This is what they are thinking. And that's why they are resisting something good to come to South Sudan. It is an obvious, always somebody who does wrong thing, will not accept something good to come. عشان كده الناس بيقولوا دائما المجرمين بيحبوا يصيدوا في مياه العكرة. They want to fish in the dirty water because when there is no rule of law, when there is disruption everywhere, they want that system. They want that kind of, disorganized to continue because this is conducive for them to steal and do whatever they wanted to do. But when there is a law and when there is justice and when there is decency, somebody's, will be questioned. They will not do that. And this is what we are doing. Civic education will continue. Don't tell me when President Kiir go to a foreign countries for an official visit as the head of the state. I was laughing when our brothers, when they are saying, sisters are saying that, it is an elder. Why you guys keep, hammering on this elder? He's an elder. Don't worry. Even though he's doing this, he cannot speak properly or something happening. Well, he's representing the Republic of South Sudan. He is not representing seniors like an elderly. This is not an elder, senior home that he's going, he is in to speak. Oh, yeah, he can speak like whatever he wants, in the senior home, if the senior appointed him. But he's representing the country. And that country actually wanted to go forward, doesn't want to go backward. Right? And the most interesting thing, when president go for an official visit, when they introduce him, they said, His Excellency, or Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of South Sudan. They don't say His Excellency, the Elder of the Republic of South Sudan. No, he's a president. And I want to underline on that word president. President, he's a president. And president is somebody charging the country. It's not just an elder. And elders are always retired. Seniors are always retired. They retire and go home and rest. But when you are a president, you are questionable. If you do something good, we say, yay, President Kirwe, yay. People say that, right? All over the world. Nemere way, whatever way, Joe Biden way, any president, whenever you do something good, people will say, yes, you did good job and you're doing good job, right? And the history will talk positive about you for the good thing you have done. But don't forget too, if you are doing things wrong, you are to be criticized. You are to be questioned. Why is the thing going wrong? Because you are the top. You are the head of state. You are the one in charge. You are the one in charge. You are the one appointing people. You are the one firing people. So I want you to persuade me. How would you say he is a president, but he cannot be questioned because he is an elder? That doesn't make sense to me. Does it make sense to you? It doesn't make sense to you. President mean that he's a president. He's in charge of 13 million, 12 million, 15 million people, South Sudanese. And if something goes wrong, it will be asked, question. So if you don't want us, like Dr. Peter Biarajak said last time, you don't want people to ask President Kiir or anyone who is, holding an official position in South Sudan. If they don't want to be asked why these things are wrong, then they need to go home. They need to retire. Because the position that you're holding is our position. You are a servant. You are a servant. You are serving us. And if you don't want to serve us, if you are serving it wrong, and if you are not doing what you are supposed to be doing, we have a right as a citizen say no. Constitutional right to ask you. So don't tell me what in our culture. Culture dan monjang, chiang dan monjang, randundi de etek, yes, randi de etek. But randi de etek, but randi techueren, if randi is stealing, you can say no. You cannot steal because you are not immune. Randi is not immune to steal, for stealing. You cannot say he's Randi, he can steal. He's Randi, he cannot do the job and then just let it be there. No, there's no rule like that in Dinka. There's nothing like that. It is rather, if he's in charge and if he's not doing what he's supposed to do, these people is bringing us shame. That's what I heard always in our culture. That's what I know. Why are you not telling the truth? When Randy is doing wrong, people say that this is not good. You need to go away. Get out there. So you have no case to make, my brother and my sister. I know you are influenced by money, by power of uncle, and so forth. But this South Sudan is ours, belong to all of us. You don't own it. Your uncle don't own it. We have a right. We can speak. South Sudan we want is South Sudan that just, is South Sudan that have security, is South Sudan that respect the rules of law. South Sudan that respect the universal right of the people. Respect women, respect everyone. South Sudan that you can walk in the middle of night and you are not fear that somebody is going to come and kidnap you and kill you. South Sudan that girls, they can walk in the neighborhood and they are not worried that they will be kidnapped and raped. That's South Sudan that we want. That's South Sudan that we fought for. I think this simple topic and small today, it says it all. And we want to join hands together to continue this campaign so those corrupt can go away. I think last spring, we have been talking about in events, if President Kiir is not there, what's going to happen? Some people, they take it very offensive. Why are we talking about if president die or if something happened? Well, president can die. I can die too. Anyone can die, Jama. But if I'm dead, it is not the end of my family. Yeah, if I'm dead today, I have kids, I have wife, they will continue. They will continue. My family will continue. My son, my daughters, they will continue. They still have name. The name Mayol still exists. And they will do what I've been doing, and they do the right thing. But I cannot say, don't talk about him. Okay, if I'm dead, okay, I have a plan. Right now I have a plan with my family. If something happened to me, la qadar Allah, something happened, and then they will know what they will do after that, because we already have a plan. That's what a wise woman can do. But you just wanted to go with people, and you said, oh, it's okay, man, I just be like that. With a country that have a crisis like that, if something happened, let's say even president was not sick, he was not having a physical issues, but always there is a way, if something happened, and people have to talk about it, and any concerned citizen can talk about it, because I am a concern and you are a concern, and you have a right to talk about it. In event this thing happened, what's going to happen? Are we going to use the same stupid model that actually was used in 2006? That's what, when our late Dr. John Garang crashed in a helicopter. And then some came and say, you know what? This person is next in line because he was just on the line. And then he can be in charge. Look what happened now. And Edward Lino said that. Edward Lino said that Zol into a dedusulta beleda ekhraf yeddo. Salva Kiir will destroy South Sudan. That's what Edward Lino say. That's what Edward Lino said. And because of that, Edward Lino died outside South Sudan without having a passport of South Sudan. Because Salva Kiir took him as enemy number one. So now those senior like Kwal Manyanga, Wenakod, and others, this is what they want. So they want this president to continue with this as hell is deteriorating. And if something bad happened, La Qadar Allah, he died, and then there will come all this bunch of, old guys, with mentally incapacitated, and then they will say, oh, now it's the turn of Mr. X, and then go and sit in that chair. And then we go to the same stupid cycle again. No, no. We are not in a guerrilla era. We are not in a guerrilla era. We are a republic. We are a country. And if we are a country, we have to be advanced in our thinking. Okay? Power, leadership has to be based or in capability, competence. It's not just ya jamaa gal saf gal nena kunna inak fi SPLN jaman indana khat indana saf indana senior 1 senior 2 no. It's no longer good. It to that evolve. It you mda kunna ganda num fi ghaba. Now it be num fi hotel, be num fi mel cafe. The thing had changed. You cannot tell me that we are always going to continue the same, way. No. Ashan kida leadership always you get best of the best. You need somebody who is best, somebody who is eloquent, somebody who is intelligent, so he can bring good stuff for the country. Country can move to the next level. But you cannot just bring somebody who does not know, because this is seniority. Well, people can have a seniority, but they don't have ability to lead. Not everybody can be a leader. Not anyone can be a leader. Yeah. No one is born as a leader. Yes, we know that. People learn it, But not everybody can be a leader. What makes you leader is what you do. It's the way you carry yourself. It's the way you carry yourself. It's the way you treat your people. It's the plan that you execute. You have manager around you and you are a leader. Okay, but you have to hammer on your manager to do the job, so people there can be in comfort zone. They can have clean water, they can have hospital, they can have school and all these things. The budget, no one can steal. You don't allow that to happen because you are a leader. You are a leader always. You should be worried about the people. That's what you should be worried about. You cannot say that leadership is not a tie, like I'm wearing a blue tie. Leadership is not a hat, black hat. Leadership is not a watch. Leadership is not a red carpet. It's not to take off in the airplane. Leadership is not to go and give a sweet speech in a foreign countries, in Tanzania, in Arusha, or in Dubai, or in Johannesburg, or in Berlin, or in Washington. That's not a leadership. Leadership is not just for you to fly out and go and talk in front of the people. No. This is how I understand the leadership. Leadership is when you care. A leader can have empathy. Shafaqa. So leader daima bikun indu shafaqa. Kun shafiq ala nasu. Leader always has a feeling that people have. Yani there is a woman, she delivered a child yesterday and her husband died, 6 months ago. And she left pregnant. Mindu akil, windu yal. How she's feeling? She's feeling terrible. She wants something to eat, and the baby needs something. Even breastfeeding, there's no milk. Windu yal tanin talata wal arba. They have nothing. What can I do as a leader? How do you feel? How do you feel as a leader toward that woman? How do you feel? You feel so bad. Tingana, you feel so bad. Now she's going through difficulties. When you put yourself on that, as a leader, I bet you are going to do a lot of good stuff because you know That woman, she's going through difficulties. She's going through difficulties. That means empathy. انت بكون عندك شعور وانت بكون شفيق عندك شفقة عليه. You have empathy for your people. But look, does our president have empathy to people of South Sudan? Does he? He doesn't even have empathy to his own soldiers. The soldiers can stay 8 months without salary. There's only empathy. They're an elder. They mind to be good to the elder. An elder doesn't care about people. Meeting with. If you are an elder, you ask that question in your house. Everybody's okay. And I don't know. And then you will ask question why? You don't have, and then it will have empathy. That's the leadership, my dear brothers and sisters. Take it from me. Take it from me. Leadership is not just a red tie or a hat or a watch or a fancy dress or a big security details around you and you're walking, and then there is a security around you. Mr. President, Mr. President. Am I our leadership? No. That's simply show up. You're just showing up. But the leaders are the one who have empathy to their people. And because they have that empathy to their people, they tend to do very good. They deliver the services. They hire people in the position and they make sure the people that they hire, whether he's a minister or whether he's a director or whether he's a manager, they make sure these people are doing work. They are not coming and steal and get fired and go away and bring another harami and go fire away and bring another thief. No. Leader will not do that. Leader will make sure himself is not a thief and himself is doing right thing so he can be a good example. That's what leaders can do. That's what leadership is. Sometimes I visited a lot of people, a lot of places. I visited Germany, I went to Lithuania, I visited some here in America, I visited a lot of states. When I go and I stay in a hotel, now I can see the differences. Why some hotels are leading and some hotels are not leading. I want to give you that example. Why, for instance, Hilton has a big name in America, or has a big name all over the world, not only in America. Hilton in the big name, Marriott, right? Kada zoli warini to funduk tani all over the world into isim actor in Hilton. I always hear Hilton and Marriott, they are all the same thing, Hilton, Marriott, all these things, it's the same. What make them leaders or what make them leading all over the world? Maishani Naida, Maishan Karasi, Maishan Sarair. It's not the chairs, it's not the beds that they have. No, it's not the bed. There are some hotels, they have really, really nice fancy bed than Hilton. But you know what make them really great and amazing? It's the way they treat people. And that's what I said from the beginning. In a leadership is the way you treat your people. The way you care. So you walk there, people, hello, how are you? Welcome to Hilton. Welcome to whatever center. Welcome to this. When I went to Nairobi, I was greeted. Good evening, sir. How are you, sir? You know how people in East Africa talk. How are you, sir? Welcome, sir. They treat me so good. It's the same thing. Everywhere I go, I like Hilton. Because Hilton, they treat people good. That's leadership. That's the leader. They are leading in hospitality in the world because they are good at it. They do it good. So you cannot tell me that because they have good bed, they have milayat nadif, they have this. No, it's the way they treat people. It's the way they talk to you. And if somebody make a mistake, they will call you and say, we apologize for something that happened, inconvenient. And if you come and say, I want to change that room, this room is not good for me, because I want to have a conference and all this, they say, oh yeah, sir, we will do it for you. We want to make sure that you are comfortable. You see, I'm not asking President Kiir, to be like that, to be like Hilton, but I'm asking empathy. President Kiir didn't have empathy. People are dying everywhere in the country, but he never, ever felt I should go there right there and visit and go there and comfort my people. Never. Even recently, the Manas kan jayin al harb bita Khartoum, the nas jayin min Shimal, ugadin for rang, they were dumb in rang there, some in Palloch, Wayne, these people, they are there. President never took time say, I want to go and visit my people. Just to say, we are trying our best. We don't have, a lot to offer, but we are trying our best. Welcome home. Welcome back. Never. Not for empathy. Not gayin mood for Jungulei. Not gayin mood for Malakal. Not mood for Wow. Not mood win. After you are Jubazada. A lot of things that happened, but I never saw him have empathy to the people. That's not a leader, my friends. That's not a leadership. Leadership is empathy, services. Lani, if you cannot deliver and if you don't have empathy, you will never become a leader. You can dress nice as you want. You can have a fancy airplane as you want. You can rent an Ethiopian airline, Kenyan airline, whatever airline. You can have a red carpet. All the staff from J1, they can come and lined up in the airport to say goodbye to you, and you are boarding the airplane. And then also you can go, they can go and lined up, in Juba International Airport to greet you. Welcome back, Mr. President. Welcome back, Ben. Welcome back, Ben. Actually, they are not doing it because they really feel that. They are doing it because they worried about their position. Because if you are a minister of whatever, agriculture, or a minister of finance and health and all these things, and president is going out, and you are not going to the airport to say, bye, Mr. President, talk nice, or when he's coming, and you are not going there, oh, welcome home, how you doing? And you big smiling like this, at the airport, he will kick your ass. Yeah, you will be whooped. You'll be fired. We know how they are. It's all about evil loyalty. So I can save my kursi. That's what it is. That's why they lined up at the airport always. But everybody go there. Go to the airport. Everybody go to the airport. Have you seen presidents بتاع الدول تانيين لما زول يمشي بيجي ب 60 delegation 60 كله ماشيين جو طياره كله ماشيين مطار all entire government will go to the airport and يمشي what the race. Why? For what? You have a job to do. You have a job to do in your ministry, and you are not leaving that post simply to go and say bye to the president. Have you seen that in Russia? Have you seen that here in China? Have you seen that even in America? Have you seen that in Kenya? Why? Simply because everybody's shaky. She doesn't want to go to the airport because actually he doesn't like you. He doesn't like you. And tomorrow will be fired. Quality doesn't go to airport. Always when you go to airport, he doesn't go to airport because he needs care. See that you are not. Quality got fired, and Quality got fired because of that also. Quality got fired because of a dude. You see, we know, man, how self-care operate. We know how these old men operate. But this country, we can rescue this country. يعني country ده بقى فينا كلنا. الناس ما قاعدين في مطار زي ما انا قلت لك عشان بس حبا فيه. ليس حبا ولكن خوفا في كراسيهم وليس حبا في هذا الرجل. بس خوفا في كراسيهم. انا الليل ده ما قاعد امشي في كثير من ملوم والله الناس زي بتاع شمارات gossiping. يعني I never ever see in a country like that. يعني سياسيين بتاع gossip. شمارات بس والله بن رانكن والله رانكن كرسي ديون وج والله بن رانكن ما دايرك والله بن زول بقعد يقول كده والله بن كويس بيتكلم عن مصر بس. That's what it is. That's what happened in South Sudan. All these politicians القاعدين جوا ده, that's what they do. Trust me, if I am a president and someone come to me and say ben this say that guy, I will fire him instantly. If you want to say something to me, put it in writing So next time would be, display to the people so they can know. You see, Nas Martin, Ilya Lomorobim Chimotar, all this, Mr. President, all this thing, just simply because they are worried about. So, my brothers and sisters, understand the leadership is not Tayara, red carpet, security, and all these things. Leadership, actually, it is services. It is empathy. When you are a man of empathy, a man that serve, a man that care, رجل يكون شفقة, ست يكون عنده شفقة. That's our leadership. Don't take me wrong. We are not looking for any position. We love our country. South Sudan ده بنحبه. We love South Sudan. And I will continue to love South Sudan. But the days good are coming. شوف زمان وكنا في خرطوم كده شوف هذا الناس الجاهلين او الرئيس الناس منو دي نفس الناس. احنا we were treated so bad by NCP مؤتمر وطني. احنا الطلبه الجنوبيين اليوم we were treated so bad because we were SPLM supporter. We were SPLM supporters. هنا كان بيقول انتوا نيور خونه الخاشينه والمارقين. Even NCP, they don't run out of terminologies that they are using against South Sudanese. Al-Khawana, Al-Khashin, Wal-Mariqin, Fulul, Tamarrud, Khawarij. They use all Arabic terminologies. Al-Khawarij, outlaw. Al-Khawana, people, yani, Khainina wala treason, Al-Mariqin, yani, they exit. Because they used to be some, they go and come, like another bit, so those who want to eat, they will be giving, an opportunity to do this. So it was really, we the people, we have integrity. We still have a lot of us have integrity. We resisted NCP. We supported the SPLM. But those who were with the NCP and they supported NCP and they were eating with the NCP, they were making a deal with the devil. Today, they are the same. They went there and make another deal with the devil in Juba. The time will come. And we will not give up. We will continue civic education until our people learn. As African proverb said, until the lion learn how to write. Every story would glorify the hunter. Until you know you're right. Until you know hak betak. Every story would glorify the hunter. Who is the hunter? It's President Kiir. He hunt everything. They hunt everything from South Sudan. Take groups to South Sudan and then eat them outside with their children. They do. Until you know that your hak, your right have been taken, always they will say, every story will say, that's what is going to happen. Until you learn, this is your right. This is your country. And you have an opportunity. You have right to have clean water. You have right to have a school. Your child have a right to go to school. Your child have a right for good education. And you have a right for all this because this is your country. Until you learn that. But right now, you are still not knowing. And that's why you are not putting your voice with my voice, with other voice who are calling for change. But change is imminent. It will happen. Until then, thank you so much. In South Sudan we won. It's South Sudan that we are all equal before the law. South Sudan that just. South Sudan that have developmental project, equal opportunity. South Sudan that we don't treat ourselves as an enemies. It's South Sudan that we care and we belong. That's South Sudan that we want. South Sudan that people of the world will have a desire to visit and say, oh, this is beautiful. People are beautiful. The people are good there. We are already beautiful. I know that we are beautiful. Our country is beautiful. But the policies that the autocrats introduce is ugly. That's what throwing people off. So thank you so much for watching. We meet you again. With concerned citizens of South Sudan. Thank you and have a good night.
Say it louder.
Say inshallah. Salam alaikum. 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 Salam alaikum.
United we stand, divided we fall. All we need is freedom. All we need is love. Free Africans free. Free Africans free.
Be free from slavery. Free from slavery.